So, in our previous class, we were discussing verse 37 and 38. Please sing with me. यद्यप्येते न पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षये कृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकं कथं नागेम अस्माभिः पापादस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षये कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यत् भिर्जनार्दन. So let's see what we saw through quiz. Question 1 goes for you. Why did Arjuna say that Kauravas were unable to see the fault in destroying the family? So we saw that how Arjuna was saying that they are not able to see, but we can see this is criminal activity. So why they were not able to see?
Is this where one of when you propose the with the you start with the conch shells and you're proposing the start of the war, then the other side has to agree.
See,
It's
it's
not
very
this.
easy. It's mentioned here. Lopo pahata. Lobho pahata. Lobho means greed. So because, see, their hearts overtaken by greed. That's why they were not able to see any fault in fighting. So it's very easy. It was one word question actually. Okay, next. Why did Arjuna believe that the Pandavas should avoid committing this sin?
Because um, when this is when he was quoting from scripture, and that you need to have some compassion and how you have to respect the life and this kind of way of thinking he had.
Yes, this is also correct, but again, it's very easy. See, their hearts overtaken by greed, but not ours. We can see that this is crime. So that's why Pandavas thought, they believed that they should avoid committing this sin because they were able to see that this is crime. And our hearts are not filled with greed or ignorance like Kauravas. Okay, now we will go ahead with the Prabhupada's purport. So let's just revise once again what we saw. We saw that Arjuna was saying to Krishna that their hearts overtaken by greed. That's why they are not able to see any fault and they are so much enthused to fight. But we can clearly see that this is a sinful act. This is the sinful act. And he also quoted different, from the point of scriptures, he was saying, and Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan quoted those particular verse that, yes, he quoted certain verse here that we can see we should, if you are saying we should fight, this is dharma yuddha, but we cannot see any desirable results. We only see undesirable results after this war. So this is not appropriate to fight. This is what he was saying. And yes, now we'll see the purport. A kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he's so invited by some rival party. So from purport, we will be able to revise what we discussed yesterday. So we discussed this, that Kshatriya can never deny for any challenge. We saw how Kauravas challenged them for a game, and then they challenged for the war. So they could not refuse because they are Kshatriyas. So, yes, under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Clear? That their eyes or their hearts overtaken by greed, they are blind and they are not able to see the effects of such a challenge. Complete destruction. They are not seeing this. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can bound. So, this is very nice. Right now, also, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, so there are some austerity, like if we compare with outside world, people, they are eating, even if they are eating vegetarian, but they are eating out, and they are not thinking about who has given this food or I should offer it to Lord. They are just eating it. I was really reflecting on this maybe yesterday evening or today morning, that how I used to go somewhere and I was completely absent about what am I eating, or even if I'm eating clean food, I never thought of offering it to Lord or Krishna. I was This happens with everyone. We were thinking that, oh, we are the enjoyer. This food belongs to me. I will enjoy it. But now you can see, when we are Krishna conscious, we are very much conscious that by Krishna's mercy, Krishna is supplying me this food or whatever necessary things I have. Krishna is supplying me that, and I should offer it to Krishna as gratitude, although everything belongs to Him. So, yes, I was really reflecting on this. Completely absent minded, no awareness at all what to do or what to not do. So, yes, actually, past of a devotee, not of a devotee, actually I was thinking this, that past is never good, especially when we were not Krishna conscious. I was not Krishna conscious. I was not doing anything correct, completely wrong, completely if we say sinful act all the time, because it was not for Krishna. So, yes, anyways. So, yes, Prabhupada is saying this obligation is actually binding when the effect is good. What does it mean? That one can accept an obligation or something austere when the effect is good. But when the effect is otherwise, it's not good, then no one can be bound. So, whatever we are following, it can, it maybe seem like austerity, but because the effect is good, actually not good, it's super good, it's super transcendental, we'll go back to Krishna. So that's why we are not thinking that, oh, it's okay, we'll do it. Even if our heart doesn't feel like doing it, then also we do it. And you will see, while we practice it, so gradually we become habitual of doing whatever we are doing. There is no option of not doing it because you become habitual of this. This is very beautiful point, that this is the tendency of our mind, that whatever we do consistently, our mind become habitual of doing it. See, if you build a habit to wake up early in the morning, then one day will come, you will not need an alarm to wake up in morning, because your mind become it became habitual of waking up early in the morning. So same way other things, everything becomes natural. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. Now, it has not
Um,
ended here. He will continue it in other verse. Yes, please go ahead. What you wish to say?
just the screen, it seems to be stuck at the start of O Janardana.
Is that so? Now, can you see this?
Yes, so now that's the end of that one. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, now I can see you're scrolling. Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll move ahead with our next verse. This is very interesting verse. Please sing after me. Kulakshe pranashyanti
Kulashaye pranashyanti.
kuladharmah sanatanaha
Kuladharmaha sanatanaha.
dharme nashte kulam kritsnam
Dharme nashte kulam kritsnam.
adharmo bhi bhavatyuta.
Adharmo bhi bhavaitya uttam.
Would you like to sing? Then I'll sing after you.
The same one?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Kulashaye pranashyanti.
Kulakshaya pranashyanti
Kuladharmaha sanatanaha.
kuladharmah sanatanaha
Dharme nashte kulam kritsnam.
dharme nashte kulam kritsnam
Adharmo bhivatya uttam.
adharmo bhi bhavatyuta. Okay, perfect. Now let's see. With the destruction of the dynasty, which is called Kulakshaya. Kulak means dynasty and Shaya means destruction. The eternal family tradition is vanquished. Now, eternal doesn't mean which has no beginning. Here, eternal means which is uh, coming from ancient times, means very old time, but eternal doesn't mean here the real meaning which we know eternal, which has no beginning. Here eternal means which is coming from ancient times, like from like very old age. So yes, with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Now this is very interesting. With the destruction of the dynasty, so dynasty means, uh, do you understand the meaning of dynasty?
Um, it's related to the culture of kingdom, but I'm not sure, like in this.
Yes, basically
And
dynasty means people or leaders
mhm.
of the same family is dynasty. Just like what we call that, dynasty of Krishna, Yadukul,
Ah,
and dynasty of Lord Rama is Raghukul. So like that, this is called the sequence of rulers or leaders who belong to the same family. So now, if they are destroyed, then this family tradition will vanquished. So let's understand this with an example. Suppose if there are grandfathers or grandmothers, so they are very old, so they are definitely experienced in different fields, and they have practical experience of different things. So because they have that knowledge, the grandfathers or grandmothers, so they give that knowledge to their grandsons or granddaughters. But up suppose if they are no more, grandsons and granddaughters are there, but their grandmothers and fathers are not there, then they will not be able to learn that knowledge from them. And yes, this is very important and amazing point, that we have so many books we can read and we can learn many things, but when we learn something practically from an experienced person, then that makes a big difference from reading a book and learning something, and from learning from an experienced person. This makes a big difference. Do you agree with this? Just like you are
Yes.
a teacher, music teacher, so there might be many books also related to music, but definitely one need an experienced teacher who may teach music. Just like I was trying to learn harmonium from YouTube tutorials, but I was not satisfied because I was not able to play it very nicely. Suppose if I hear some kirtan and if I wish to play it on harmonium, and if I do not find any tutorial on YouTube, then I'll not be able to play it. So now, I decided to join harmonium classes to learn it from an experienced teacher. So this makes a big difference. So Arjuna is
Mm.
saying same here, that with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, or it will get vanquished. And because of this reason, rest of the family, the next generation which will come, that will become irreligion. They will follow a dharma, because they will not be they will not be educated about what is dharma, because dynasty will destroy, and there would no one be left who may teach them. Just like if we talk about today, modern times as well, so you can see, uh, if we take it from an example, for example, if you ask a child 5 years or 7 years that what is sinful activity or what is pious activity, then he will not be able to tell. It's normal because when we were also at this age, we were also not aware about what is sin or what is pious. We didn't know this. So same way, if suppose there were no elders of that child who may teach him that this is sin, you should not do this or you should do that, then when he'll grow up, and even if he will eat non-veg, so because he's not aware that, oh, this is sinful act, I should not do this, so he will, with great interest, he will engage in those activities, isn't it? Because there is no one to teach him. That family tradition has vanquished. So there is no one to teach that child. So now he will not be able to discriminate that what is sin or what should I do, what should I not do. And this is what happening right now, because tradition is vanquished. That's why people, they are committing such sinful activities, consuming non-veg, gambling, and whatever things they are doing. This is because of this reason only. Okay, consuming non-veg is very big thing. If we talk about simple basic thing, that is waking up early in the morning. So you will see this is very prominent uh, in modern times, that people, it's very difficult for them to wake up early in the morning. In fact, people go at bed in bed at the time of waking up. Devotees generally wake up around 3, 4, or 5, and people, they are going in bed during this time, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So why? Tradition is vanquished. No one is teaching them because their parents are not educated, because they didn't get this knowledge that we got this human form of life, what we should do, what we should not do, and because they themselves are not following anything, and because of this reason they are not educating their children also. So you will see in India, Brahmanas also, right now, they are also consuming non-veg, or they are not waking up early in the morning. My neighbor, he is very proud that I am a Brahmana. I'm very knowledgeable. But he is not able to wake up early in the morning. It's very difficult for him. I mean, I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm just telling the condition of modern times, that because tradition is vanquished, so people, they are involved in irreligion. You want to say something on this?
Yes, I had two inquiries that I'm thinking about. So, because there's this term of the lineage from the Acharya, or like Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, and
Actually, yes, dynasty and lineage is same. It's just synonym.
but it's not. This one is not parampara.
Which one?
So parampara is more specific, but this one, is it just to do with the family?
No, it's same.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, thanks. And then the other word I'm thinking is you were referring to the eternal concept,
Hmm.
and so there's the Sanatana
Yes, but
is
here,
it's
eternal
different.
means which is coming from ancient time, and we will not, take the meaning. Maybe Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan will also explain this. I heard this. That's why I'm telling. Please know this. Whatever I'm sharing with you, I am not concocting. I
I
heard it.
know,
I'm repeating that. So,
I
yes,
know for
because,
sure.
I also fear very much if we speculate or concoct something, then it's never pleasing to Krishna. And I never want to take any risk to displease Krishna. So, yes.
Yes, no,
Okay.
no, you're very well learned from your gurus, so I know what you're
Okay.
referring to.
Yes, so this point was very amazing, that what Arjuna is saying here. I hope you were able to get it through whatever examples we just discussed here.
Okay.
Okay, let's move forward. So, yes, Arjuna is fearful of this thing, that if, you know, there would be destruction of the dynasty, then everyone would involve in adharma only, because there would no one be there to educate them. And see the very beautiful thing, our uh, beloved Srila Prabhupada has, what is the opposite of destruction?
Creation?
Creation. Yeah, okay, created this beautiful dynasty where we know what to do, what not to do, at what time we should wake up, or what should we eat. Prabhupada has educated us so nicely that there is no scope of hazy consciousness. So
Mm.
this is very beautiful, and you can see right now also, it it is not vanquished. this tradition is still going. So it's great mercy of Prabhupada that he has created such dynasty. So yes. And that's why you can see whatever, disciples of Prabhupada, definitely it's coming from, disciplic succession. But if we talk about Prabhupada, so whatever Prabhupada educated their disciples educated their disciples, and their disciples are educating their disciples, like that. It's it's going. So it's very beautiful. Okay, let's dive into the commentary of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan. In this verse, Arjuna expands upon the sin of destroying the family. So we'll only read his commentary and then we will read purport next day. Because, almost both commentaries are same. But this way, uh, whatever we read the previous day, we will revise through purport of Prabhupada. So we will only read the commentary of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan. So let's see. In this verse, Arjuna expands upon the sin of destroying the family. So he's expanding whatever he was saying in previous verse, that oh, it's very sinful to destroy the family. We can very much see it as a crime, although Kauravas are not able to see it. So now he's expanding it. The religious activities such as fire, sacrifice, kula dharma, which have been obtained through the family traditions, will be destroyed. So, in India, we'll talk about India only. So, in India, you will see in earlier times, ancient times, people, I don't know if they used to do it or not. But if we talk about modern times, we will not see anyone performing any fire sacrifice. No. So basically, we can understand one thing from here, that whatever a child sees his parents, a child see his parents doing, he follow he follow them. So suppose a child has taken birth in a devotee family, or even in a pious family, where father in the morning he goes to temple, or mother, she is worshipping deity worship in the house, or offering food to Lord, waking up early in the morning. So when children, they see their parents doing such things, so they will also follow it. This happens, whatever children see their parents doing, they also do it. So same way, here it's mentioned, Arjuna is saying that the religious activities like fire sacrifice, which have been obtained through the family traditions, they do fire sacrifices, yagyas and all those things, will be destroyed because of destruction of the performers. So the leaders of the dynasty, they do such sacrifices, but if they all will be no more, then new generation will not be educated to do such sacrifices, and they will follow adharma. So this is what he's explaining. The word uta here means even, and is linked to kritsnam. With the restriction of performance of religious activities, irreligion will conquer even all the remaining family members consisting of small children and others. So you can see, everyone, they are raising kids, raising children, but it's not very hard to raise kids, but educating kids is very necessary, because animals can also raise kids, they are doing this, but they cannot educate them because they do not have such consciousness. So this is the only difference between us and animals. that we can educate our children, but animals cannot. So, this is very important. This is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that, people externally who may appear like human being, but they are not doing anything for Krishna. They are two-legged animals because they are not doing something different from animals, eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. So, as Arjuna is saying this, that although children will be there, they will raise children, but uh, there would be destruction of performance of religious activities. Okay, so we have completed this. So, do you wish to stop here?
Yeah, we can leave it here.
Okay.
It was
Okay, perfect. If you want to say something or add something, please go ahead.
um so yeah, that's understood how have been explaining this, and uh the yagya, fire sacrifice, is it just a form of this other term, the Kula Dharma?
Yes, but not in Kali Yuga. The sacrifice of Kali Yuga is Harinam,
Yes.
uh, chanting the holy names of Krishna.
Oh, I see. So what's the difference between the Kula Dharma and Yagya?
No, Kula Dharma means dharma of the family or dynasty is fire sacrifice. Dharma
Oh,
means, they should perform such religious activities. So, this is one of the activities. Fire sacrifice is one of those activities. See, it's
oh, I
mentioned, no?
see.
The religious activities such as fire sacrifice. So, Kul Dharma means, Kul means we saw dynasty, and Dharma means religious activities.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, it's because it was in the brackets just after fire sacrifice. I got
Yeah, it's okay.
the understanding of the Yagya. Now, okay. Okay, yeah, it's very nice that they have all these terms and it's very specific to um, the um, the system, the Vedic system, and how it still has it remains. It's still here with us after thousands of years. So
This is the mercy
yeah,
of Lord.
yeah.
See, from this we can clearly see that how Krishna is controlling everything. Everything is under his control. That's why this is, next to impossible actually, that still this knowledge which Krishna gave 5,000 years ago to Arjuna, it's still, we are able to get it. So it's beautiful. And this shows that Krishna really wants us that we understand this knowledge and we go back to him.
Thank
Beautiful. Okay. So with this, we'll stop here and we'll continue with purport tomorrow if Krishna is willing. Srimad
you.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.